Some priests within the church itself started to question some of the teachings. They saw how some members of the church were behaving, and didn't think it represented God properly. As I said before, some of the problems were with church teachings themselves. Priests read the Bible, and when they saw things that went against church traditions, some became frustrated. How could the priests, for example, tell people that all 7 sacraments were necessary when other priests were refusing to perform them? Other priests even said people could do last rites themselves without a priest. That just confused the whole issue.
As conditions worsen, the church too seems to fail its flock. Fearing contamination, some priests refuse to administer last rites to the dead.
Padre, mia Maria e la piccola Anna Maria hanno bisogno di lei. Lei stesso l'ha battezzata.
For medieval people, to die without last rites is a more terrifying prospect than death itself. But as the death toll mounts and more priests succumb to the plague, the Bishop of Bath makes a startling suggestion.
If they are on the point of death and cannot secure the services of a priest, then they should make confession to each other, to a layman, or, if no man is present, even to a woman.
More and more the church seemed to be going against its own teachings and even those of the Bible. On top of that, many of the things the church did choose to enforce did not make much sense. For example, people weren't allowed to have their own Bibles. They could only read them when a priest was around to tell them what it meant. Beyond that, all church activities had to be done in Latin, even if people didn't speak it. They just had to assume the church was saying the right things.
Speak. Child, show us your great learning.
Mama.
You have nothing to fear but God's wrath, my little one. So speak.
Our Father.
Yes. There is more.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done, as in heaven, so on earth. Give us day by day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, for we also forgive everyone that has indebted to us.
Enough! I most solemnly forbid you, child, ever again to speak the Creed, the Lord's Prayer, or the 10 Commandments in English. We need hear no more. The men will burn. But of our great compassion and mercy, the widow will be spared to provide for this brood after we have taught them afresh the godly ways of the church. See she is safe home, Morton. Take the rest away.
The second problem, which took advantage of the first, was a growing sense of corruption among the church leaders. To keep people under control, the church had to keep adding on more and more rules. Spain, for example, said if you weren't Christian you either had to convert, or you'd be kicked out of the country entirely. They set up a court called the Inquisition, where people would have to prove their Christian faith. This court could give out almost any punishment imaginable.
Et in unum Dominum Iesum Christum, et ex patri natus antis omnia Deum Deum verum et Deum verum Genius non factum statiare per omnia pactus. Qui propter nos hominis, et propter nostrum salutem, decendit in celis, et incarnatus est Spiritus Sanctus, et Maria Regina, et omnium pactus. Crucifixus et
Your name?
Does the Queen know I'm being questioned?
Until a case is brought before the tribunal of the Holy Office, all questioning is as secretive as the confessional. Your name?
Cristobal Colon.
You take the sacraments?
I do.
Do you know why you were arrested?
It is beyond my imagination.
The function of the Inquisition is to redeem the souls of fallen Christians.
I am not a fallen Christian.
The heresy by its nature is insidious. It infects many who presume that they are innocent. But for the soul who has gone away from God, even perhaps without knowing, the way back is full of pain. And the first step is confession.
Torture. Torture may lead one to confess something that is not true.
Well, to be a true believer and unjustly condemned to death, that is the way to glory. To die for the faith in the faith, that soul will certainly see the gates of paradise.
It is a goal I seek, but perhaps not that way. May I know why you doubt my faith?
I have been to my manuscripts. The Blessed St. Augustine has said that the ocean sea cannot be crossed. And in your ambition, Signor Colon, you are presuming to defy the judgment of the Holy Father of the Church.
Not on a matter of the faith, Your Grace. The Blessed Saint also wrote that no man could exist beyond the torrid zone of Africa because those men would not descend from Adam. Yet the Portuguese and I have found men and life where he said none could exist. I defer to the Holy Father's knowledge of men's hearts. His science was imperfect.
Well, you appear well read, Signor Colon.
Only in cosmography, Your Grace, and the Bible. I recall our blessed Lord said, "A new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another as I have loved you." Surely, it is not blasphemy to take that message to the shore of Africa or across the ocean sea.
Here's a few of the devices known to have been used in the Inquisition. The goal was not to kill the person, but instead to get them to admit to crimes they had been charged with. I don't know, I think I would have been happier to just die.